Last week, we mentioned that Ghana is the most expensive country in the world, and a lot of people had issues with that. The receipt you just saw was an invoice of me going to have, lunch with family and friends, and it was so expensive with about four different tax components. In this video, we are going to look at a very interesting topic about Ghana being a paradise or an illusion. We want to understand why a lot of people are moving to Ghana, why they are living the paradise, which is Europe, America, etc., to come and live in this place called Ghana. Is it something that we need to do? Is it a wise decision? And we are also having a question of the day that someone sent on our Instagram. And so if you are just joining the live or the replay, I want you to comment where you are watching from. And I'm going to read the question of the day so that you can also answer in the YouTube comments. Now, this person who is a subscriber says, "Hello, I am your follower and I need a quick advice or opinion. I have roofed and plastered my building and I know or think that the next step is burglar proof and security doors. But my question about the doors is that if you haven't done your tiling, wouldn't the doors be affected when you do the tiling after the doors are installed? As in, wouldn't it be difficult to open and close your security doors after the tiling if you installed before the tiling? Now, this I think is a really, really good question. And so just comment all your answers. Now, in this video, we want to look at this topic about the diaspora who are joining or leaving the beautiful countries of the world to come and live in Ghana in different ways, right? The reason why we did this video is because a lot of people are complaining about the fact that Ghana is expensive, Ghana doesn't have good roads, and Ghana doesn't have amenities and all that. Then a lot of diasporans also are looking at reconnecting with Ghana and Africa as a whole because they think that they have like their origins from Ghana and Africa, especially the Black American community. And then we're also going to compare and contrast it with the amenities in foreign countries, right? The modern comforts that people are looking for. Now, some of the major complaints that we get about Ghana is the fact that it's relatively underdeveloped. And so we have poor roads, unreliable electricity, inadequate healthcare, corruption, where we have bureaucratic inefficiencies. Last week, we spoke about things like when you are, applying for permit, how long it takes, and the cost even of applying for a permit. We spoke about the inadequacies and inefficiencies in our land registration system, where it is creating an avenue for people to be able to sell multiple, the same land to multiple people, so multiple sales of land and all these things. And so my question to you guys, especially the people who are watching from the diaspora, the reason why I'm targeting and asking you guys is because when I check the analytics of our YouTube channel, over 70 to 80% of people who watch our video, Africa Building Hub, are not even living in Ghana. Over 80% of people are in US, UK, Canada, Germany, Netherlands, and the rest. And just barely 20% of people who are in Ghana. And so we also sit on a lot of data. We get a lot of emails every day. We get a lot of Instagram DMs, TikToks, where people say they want to relocate to Ghana. They want to come and live in Ghana. We have also interacted with people who have left the UK and are building in Ghana. We are helping them to build in different ways. We are providing them with artisans. We get a lot of consultation calls every weekend where people want to move to Ghana. Some of them don't even have like African race. They are pure whites, but they are tired of the systems in Europe, UK, US, etc. And so I want you to comment. Why are you coming to Ghana? Where are you watching from? Why do you want to come and live in Ghana despite all the economic challenges and everything? And today we also have our live interactive team. So if you want to comment, you can see people who are on the live interaction. And we have someone who has raised her hand and wants to talk. So we have C on the call. C, you can.
Yes, good night, everyone. My name is Deshola, and I wanted to speak on the issue. I am a diasporan. I have currently moved to Ghana. I've been here now since January 21st. In life, we all have to pick our poison. And so, and so for me to come to live here in Ghana, although it is a developing country, and that is how I see it, it's a developing country. Um, I prefer to be here than in America because when I was living in America, especially in Washington, D.C., that's where I'm originally from. It was just it was a lot of crime. I heard gunshots on a daily basis, during the day, during the night, and I did not feel safe in that country anymore. I did not feel safe being in DC, and I live near the White House. Yes. And so I made that concrete decision to come, leave everything, my family and all. I'm trying to encourage them to come here with me. I have bought some land. I'm going through the registration process as right now. And I'm trying to encourage them to come and join me. It's time to leave. It's time to come home. It's time for our people to come home. And that's how I strongly feel. And so that's why I packed up everything, shut down everything, and moved here.
So for you, you are tired of like the fear of living in the US, the violence, even though you live close to the White House and all that, and you feel Ghana is home despite all the challenges that we have as a country. Interesting thoughts. Again, welcome to everybody who has joined the live interactive session. Today we are talking about why people in the diaspora are moving to come to Ghana, whereas Ghanaians who live in Ghana, born and bred in Ghana, look at US, UK, Canada, Europe as like heaven, right? And they feel that they are living in hell. But the people who are living in heaven rather want to move to hell. And we also see a lot of times when we post videos like properties for sale, land for sale, people come and comment, Ghana is so expensive. The cost of purchasing a house in Ghana can purchase a house in US or UK, and UK or US is more developed. And the question is, if that is the case, why are you guys still moving to Ghana, wanting to live in Ghana? That's the question of the day that we are discussing. Now, before we continue with the live interactive session, we also want to look at the price of building materials, because a lot of people who want to come and live in Ghana will definitely want to probably build, even from the data that we are sitting on. And so today we are going to start with the prices of iron rods. Today, a ton of iron rods is selling between 7,900 cedis to about 12,600 cedis, depending on the size. And on your screen, we have displayed the various dimensions of iron rods. These are mild steel iron rods. They are not high tensile iron rods. And we also show you the unit price and then the quantities that will give you a ton. So for example, today you can get the 18 millimeters iron rods for about 9,300 Ghana cedis. Same with 12 millimeters, 9,200. But the individual units for a 12 millimeter is 73.60, 14 millimeter is 96.90, 60 millimeter is 131.50, and the 18 millimeter is 160.40. In the course of this live video, we are also going to be sharing with you the cost of cement, etc. And so for me, again, like we started, Ghana is very expensive. We are going to show you this invoice that we had for like eating lunch, right? And just for eating lunch, we had so many taxes, so many taxes,
You
like
had the
four components of taxes. Read
you
it
had
for us.
the 2.5% NHIL tax, you had the 2.5% Get Fund, 1% COVID levy, 50% VAT, 1% tourism levy. Now let me mention the prices attached. The 2.5 NHIL was 117.34 Ghana cedis. 2.5 Get Fund was also 117.34 pesos. Then the 1% COVID levy was 46 points. Is COVID still there?
Yeah, COVID is not there, right? And the reason why we are showing you all these things is to let you know that Ghana is not cheap, right? When we went for this lunch date, I had gone with a cousin who had just come down to Ghana, right, to bury his dad, right? May his soul rest in peace. And I said, oh, let me take him. He came with his kids and all. Let me take him out to one of these very popular local restaurants because he's heard of it, and he said that they wear local attire and all these things, and the setup is really nice. Yes, the setup is really nice, but it's not cheap. At the end of the day, when he saw the receipt and he converted it to dollars, and he realized that if he takes his family out for dinner or lunch and even his buffet, right, in the US where he lives, it's like way cheaper, like 3 times cheaper than what we are paying in Ghana for a considerable, family size and all that. Here, a bottle of water is 60 Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, if you're buying water on the streets, you can get that same bottle of water for like 5 cedis. And so I'm just letting you know that if you are used to a particular kind of lifestyle in the US, Europe, Canada, etc., if you are moving to Ghana, it is not going to be cheap. And these are things that we need to be aware of. And that is why we have today's topic of the day. So, yes, Ghana is underdeveloped. There's a level of corruption. Amenities are not available. There's high cost of living. And that's why we're also giving you the prices of building material. So our live chat people, I see Gabe on the call, I see Fatima, I see Ben. If any of you want to, raise your hand and share your thoughts, kindly let us know, especially those of you who are in the diaspora or those who are living in Ghana who want to move. You can raise your hands. Let us know why you want to live in Ghana or why you want to live outside of Ghana. And we are going to be calling you to share your thoughts. Okay.
So when you are saying why you want to live outside of Ghana, let me put it in this perspective, right? If you're living in your father's house and you are struggling and you are suffering, you're not getting food to eat, you're not getting water to bath, comparing you living with somebody you do not know and you are struggling, not getting food to eat, but you are allowed to work, you are allowed to feel a certain kind of, in quotes, financial, not financial freedom, but it's like you can get access to money easier than in your father's house. Would you keep staying in your father's house? No,
Interesting question. So that for you is the reason why people would want to.
Yeah, I feel like if they're here, they feel like they are, in quotes, the unemployment rate and how they feel like they are not making it. They can't reach their, in quotes, dreams, right? They can't build their dream homes. They can't do things they really want to do. But when they leave and they end up going to, they're going to the diaspora abroad where they can do like small jobs that they wouldn't do here and get enough money to build, they would rather go get enough money and then come back and live the dream, right? Or go get money, save, invest, and come back. Because then again, if you're working, say, some people claim that if you work a bank job in Ghana versus working a cleaning job outside, you make more money. Tell me how true that is. But then again, if that is true, I mean, obviously people here would want to, and even with the artisans and the carpenters, they end up making more money per hour when they are there than when they are here. So it makes, especially when they go to the Dubai and the rest, I'm sure they'll be very happy to be there than stay here and be collecting 50 cedis, 100 cedis and, negotiating with us.
Yeah, really, really good point. And I want to read some of the comments from the YouTube live so that they don't feel left out. I see Terry Hazel saying, I'm watching from Belgium. Hi, Terry. Good to have you. He says, okay, Bola Massive says Ghana is beautiful. So that's why they would want to live in Ghana. But Dubai is more beautiful than Ghana, right? Paris is very beautiful as well, right? So yeah, Ghana is beautiful, but what? Bad roads and all. Terry says the price of a three-phase switch, 12-way. Okay, so you are looking for a meter. For me, when I registered for my meter, it was like 3,000 to 5,000 cedis. So let us know how much it costs you. Aunt G says, yes, my sister, positives outweigh the negatives. Okay, so people are saying that though there are a lot of issues in Ghana, for them, the positives outweigh the negatives. And that is why for them, they would still want to move into Ghana. Okay, so please keep the comments coming, the people on the YouTube live. My friends on the live interactive chat, do we have any feedback? Does anybody want to contribute anything to the topic? Gabe, do you want to say anything? Benji, Fatima? Yes, Gabe, you can unmute your mic now, and then you can share your thoughts.
Hey, hello. Okay, evening. So I think I wanted to make a statement to the point of, I think he said something about struggling in your father's house as opposed to going outside. I personally would rather struggle in my father's house, one, because I'm on the outside, I'm in a diaspora, so I've seen it firsthand where even now as we speak, there are college students who have not been able to find jobs and leave their mother and father's house to get something of their own. So they're rather staying home even longer because of the economy is difficult. So the economy is difficult for diasporans who have been here, living here, educated here to find jobs. So those who are coming from different parts of the world to come find jobs, yes, you may come and find very common small jobs like cleaning or housekeeping, or like you said, just jobs you can get something to do. But at the end of the day, you have to remember that you have not fully established yourself in this country yet. So you're not paying proper taxes, you don't have rent, you don't have mortgage. All these things take all our money every month. And I think that's a common that's a common thing that's spoken between a lot of people from the diaspora. They always say that, you know what, though in America the money comes, but as fast as the money comes is the same as fast as it leaves your account, because you're paying different taxes. You're paying to this person, that person. Shit. Sometimes at the end of the day, you're left with maybe $2 if you're lucky, and that's what a lot of people are facing. So it's like a system where you work, you get paid, and you pay all your debts. And after you pay your debts, you don't have nothing. But in a place like Ghana, at least at the end of the day, if I'm buying land, or if I'm building small, at the end of the day, it's for me. No one is going to come and tell me that, you know what, at the end of the month, give me a mortgage payment or give me a rent or whatever you have to be. It's 100% yours. And that's the feeling that I think a lot of people want to obtain. The American dream that was sold to us as, you work, you go to school, and you come out of college, you get a job, and you buy a house. And that's supposed to be the American dream. But we know that in the system, you're given 30 years to pay a mortgage off, which has a high interest. So at the end, if you calculate how much you spent, you've probably bought maybe two houses in your lifetime without even realizing it. And at the end of the day, not everyone will be able to obtain a house or a home. That's the fact, because one, you have a credit score. Two, it depends on your income. Three, it's like there's a lot of different factors that come into play. So not everyone will be able to obtain that dream. So you see a lot of people from other parts of the world who are rushing to places like Ghana, because at least they can have that opportunity to own something 100% outright, that they can do what they can pass it on to the generations to come, whether they're children, their grandchildren, and feel like, you know what, the money that I'm making here at least is gone far, and I'm able to keep it for myself. And also I have the freedom to know that, you know what, I'm in a place where everyone looks like me. I have my dentist looks like me, my doctor looks like me, the person who does my nails or my barber, we're all the same. So we, with all those systems that in place, where I think I've heard stories where people come to Ghana and they see the police and they tense up. And these are African American, Black Americans, and then they realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm not in the United States anymore. The police are also friendly to me. I can relax. So as a as people of color, or people who are from, like, or African descent or Black, we face all these things every day. The challenges of, racial profiling and discrimination. So you have all these factors that are compact against you when you're trying to, go ahead. I work in corporate America. I've been in corporate America for almost past 15 years. So I've seen it where I'm always the only person of color in my department. So with that being said, you're always working harder to prove yourself as someone who's worthy to be at the table. And that is very tiring, because your counterparts, they are allowed to make mistakes, and they're not really scrutinized for the mistakes they're making. Unlike yourself, you see, unlike yourself, if I make a mistake, it's like, hey, Gabe, why did this happen? If my counterpart makes a mistake, it's like it's nothing's ever happened. So it's like sometimes you feel like you're doing two jobs at one place, and you're always having to prove yourself and go higher and strive. So those pressures on you it can weigh you down. So it's like, why not be somewhere where, like as I said, everyone looks like me, and I think the I would say the playing field is far better in Ghana than it is in other places, because the opportunities are endless. And I think people say that all the time, that people come and they find so many opportunities, because they always say that where lies a problem, there lies opportunity for something to be fixed. So with all those things in fact, that I would still choose a place like Ghana to start over rather than the West, because as we see right now with everything going on in the current administration, a lot of people who are from other countries are now facing deportation issues, and even scared to go to their offices to work, because they're scared that ICE may pick them up and sweep them away and deport them. So the West as we know it is not the same anymore. And I think that's why we're seeing the quote unquote the great migration right now of massive people who are just leaving and stopping whatever they're doing and moving to other parts of the world, mainly Ghana, and establishing a life. Or we saw a few months ago, it was over 400 people who were ignorated and given their citizenship. So these are the things that as people are seeing it, they should think that it's for a reason. Sometimes they say people are coming, people are going. There's a reason that the people who are here are coming to Ghana. So people who are in Ghana should think twice about this. So why are those people there running to be here, and I'm trying to run to be there? There's something that they've seen, but we've seen it, but people in Ghana haven't seen it. That's why we, the ones here, are rushing to come back to home, because we've been here long enough. We've been in the system to understand that it's not as pretty as it's made to look. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Well,
Wow,
sounds fair.
yeah. But so when Gabe was speaking, right,
Yeah.
I kind of got a sense that he's talking from the American perspective.
Yeah.
But the diaspora is not just the United States of America. How about the UK? For example, Terry says he's watching from Belgium, right? So Terry, you are on the YouTube live, you are in the chat. I want you to share your thoughts, right? Is it the same reason you want to come to Ghana as Gabe? Because the new administration in Belgium is not treating you like how the US is treating. We need to understand. Some of us, we can't relate. By God's grace, we've lived all our lives in Ghana. We just get the opportunity once in a while to travel outside and come back, but we don't really go stay extended periods
Yeah.
outside of Ghana, right? So for us, we don't really care about these things. We can't relate.
So,
You
yeah,
get me?
I think that even for the ones that, like for the example I was giving, the ones that who end up going are not actually going because they want to live there forever, right? They're going because they want to make, in quote, enough money to come back and start a good business that could give them sustainable income. Because when they are here and they try to do stuff, it barely works, right? I would say the system is working against you, but when you don't have money, it's harder to find money, right? But when you're able to find a way to get money from a different source, and you get it, well, and you come back and you're investing, say you come and start some cement business or some block factory, or even you do franchise for maybe one of the good companies, right? You end up making more money than where you were before. So most of them don't even go just because they want. I don't think most of them go because they want to stay there and do the cleaning and things forever. But
Bro,
then,
hold on. Let's not talk for them. They are right
They're
here.
right here.
They are right here in the chat on YouTube. They are also right here on our Google Meet,
Yeah.
right? So we
So please
want to hear from
tell us.
them. Let me read some of the comments from the YouTube live, and then I see some people's hands are raised in the live interaction. So we would also go back to them. Yao Chuk says Ghana is sweet if you live in your own house
Yeah.
and drive your own car. Take these two out and life is hell. Okay, interesting. Benjamin says Africa is growing. We will get there. It might be tough for now, but Africa, UN general is the next hotspot for development. Or you mean Africa in general is the next hotspot for development? We will get there. I like the positive vibes, Benji. Sweet Bad says, I'm from Ghana, but I've never lived there. I want to move to Ghana to reconnect with my roots. Lex RT1 says, let him cook in capital. So, Gabe, they said you are cooking. Moon Ice World says, scammers. exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. I don't know if you are referring to the US, the system in the US, or who. Mary Okan says preach. So Gabe is getting a lot of support in the YouTube live section, the comment section. Yao Chooks again says Ghanaians want to go outside to earn money and come back and do business or build. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Earning powers here are low. Interesting. So the thing is, for someone like Gabe and Yao Chooks and all these people who are in the diaspora, right? How long would you want to work in the US, UK, Canada, Europe, etc.? And at what point would you say you want to come back to Ghana? Is it like when you are coming on retirement where you can no longer work? Because if you come to Ghana, what work are you coming to do? Right? It's not like the work is just lying down for you unless you're coming to start a business and some entrepreneurial, drives and stuff like that where you can employ people. If not, it's going to be very difficult.
So then again, like for the ones going, I want to say I know somebody who has left, when I was way younger, right?
Okay.
He was working a good job in Ghana, but he felt he wasn't making enough, so he left, went to do bus driving for schools.
Okay.
Then he, at least from what I know, has made enough money to own a few apartments. He has a few houses. He bought some cars which he does rental. He also has quite a number of things that sort of bring him money here.
Yeah.
Right. So with the hope that when he comes back, he would fall on those things.
Okay.
And he has also, according to the conversations we've had, he's also put money into like investments, treasuries. So like quarterly, yearly, he's getting something. And his goal is not to live fancy. No.
Okay.
He just wants to be getting enough for himself and also have something for his grandchildren and his children. So when he dies, he says that, okay, whatever he has paid their fees, taking them to school. You know, the African parents, let me take you to school, university, learn, right? So that you wouldn't have to suffer what I suffered, right? So he take his kids to school, the best schools, the good unis, and make sure that they get good jobs so that then they just take over from him. So it's no longer about him anymore. He's doing it for his children and his grandchildren, right? So I think most of them, they are trying to be the one to create that generational wealth for the families to come, right? So
really,
that it's
really,
no
really,
longer
really important. Sorry to cut you back. I totally get you when you say that, right? Because our parents did well for themselves and then also helped us to, go to school. I was listening to somebody and then he said, and his father was the first person who was educated like amongst his grandfather's children, right? And he was the only person who went to school. So his father made it a point to ensure that I think it was Bernard Avle or somebody. He was saying that Bernard Avle of City FM, right? He was saying his dad was the only child of his grandparents who attended school. So his dad made it a priority that he is going to make sure all his children, not only one child, will go to school, right? And so I get you completely when you are saying people are leaving to try and go and get money to come and create a better situation for their kids as opposed to what they grew up in. It makes perfect sense. But then again, I ask the question, at what point would you want to come back? Are you going to come back when you are nearing retirement? Are you going to come back with your kids who are pretty young in their teenage years and all that? And speaking of that, there was a trending item in the news about a kid whose family brought him from, I think, UK or something to Ghana. And their aim was to get him to school in Ghana because they were afraid he would end up
bad influence
in bad, like exactly, right. And this kid sued his parents for bringing him to Ghana. Now, I want us to go back to the interactive chat, get some feedback because we have some hands up. Gabe, your hand is still up. Is it an old hand or it's a new hand? Then we'll go to Benjamin. Okay, so Gabe has dropped his hand. So Benjamin, please, you can share your thoughts.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear my voice, please? Thank you very much. I had wanted to really much thank Gabriel for his assertions, and also thank your co-host for his points. You see, this whole Africa coming back, American thing, it's a very big issue. There are a lot of angles to this. Gabriel pointed out the psychological issue about why people are moving back. I have about 3 siblings in the States. I have been invited more than 8 times, 8. I never want to go there. My mother is an American citizen. My mother, like, is an American citizen, but I have made up my mind never to go there. If I will go there, it will be for a week. Now, it might be a stereotype thinking, but one of the ladies spoke. I've forgotten her name. She talked how psychologically the gunshots and those things. Ghana is so peaceful, so much peaceful. Now, our brothers and sisters here who are struggling to go there, this is not the 1970s and 1980s again. America has changed. The people have moved on. I keep pushing for us. You see, one disadvantage to Ghana with this whole thing is, instead of the government and the community trying to bring these people back to develop our country, they are going to make us spend, those of us who are living here already, my brother, we are now going to compete for the same lands the diasporans are coming to. So if I'm supposed to buy land in my area, 150,000 cedis, I'm now supposed to cough an additional 150,000 cedis to buy the same land at 300,000 cedis. This is what Ghana is making, is going to make us lose. But this would have been the best. Imagine 100 people coming to Ghana with $1 million. Imagine, yes, our population will increase, but we have $1 million, $1 million, $1 million in the country to invest. So it is a very big advantage for the government. This should be a governmental stuff. It should be a very big issue where the government can profit from these diasporans coming, rather than raising taxes and raising prices for us. That is the bad part. Number two, we wholeheartedly welcome our brothers and sisters. Yes, there will be negatives and things. They are going to bring different culture and all those things, but everything comes with a price. But for me, we should open our arms, let them come. America was developed for the past 250 years ago. We can start. We are 60 something years old. We can start. We have technicians. People have been laid off their jobs. Let's bring them. Let them come, and let us maintain a very welcoming, atmosphere. Ghana is already welcoming already. But one major thing I want us to concentrate on this evening on this line is that no matter where we are, Africans are Africans. It pains me so much that some people refuse to recognize their roots. It's like the South Africans who are whites, who are stuck in South Africa. No matter what happened, look at Lemons today. He's gone back. We have doctors and neurosurgeons, astronauts all over there, giving up their best. And finally, my point is, my brother, if one Ghana city was to $1, Ghana would have been a better place to live. The only difference between Ghana and America is our currency, is our salary, stuff. My sisters in the States get money, yes, but they spend all the money on, like you were saying, mortgages and student fees and water. Yes, they survive. The amenities are there, but the difference between us and them is our peace of mind. If the dollar was to a cedi, no American will even be in America. I'm telling you. Our wages are way low. We earn what, $5,000, $6,000, and then are supposed to spend $20,000 in a month. That is what in America they earn $6,000 a month, $7,000 a month. They end up getting $600 a month in their pocket as balance, while the rest go to tax, and that tax feeds them back. So this is the difference. This is what we should be talking about. Whether the government increase our salaries or find ways and means to make us a little bit comfortable. Ghana is the best place to be. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for your feedback, Benjamin. That was really great feedback. A lot of people are in the YouTube live section, and in the comment section, they are also putting a lot of comments. So we are going to read some of them. Love Jan says, "Hello guys, I'm a bit late for the chat. You are not late at all." Yao Chuk says, "Earning powers here are low." That's in Ghana. Interesting. Kwame says, "Greetings from Canada." Kwame, why do you want to come and live in Ghana? Comment and let us know. Uncle Basil says, "You don't need to move to the US to make American dollars. If you have a skill and a laptop, you can do remote work." Interesting. Love John Myers again says, "May I know what the topic is about today? I have a question about roofing that I appreciate your input." Just put it in the chat and people would, respond to it. It's not just us, it's a community. So just put it in the chat and people would respond, right? Samson Watson says, "I've been in the USA for 7 years and my plan was to get back to Ghana quickly. So I've established and want to expand my poultry farm. Hopefully, I'll relocate permanently very, very soon. Interesting. Sweet Bar says, I'm tired of living in a country where I'm a minority. I think this thing is a serious issue. Like, because I live in Ghana and I don't want to go outside, I don't really experience this. I've traveled to
Yeah.
some countries, different continents and stuff, but usually I don't experience it because it's a very short stay, maybe vacation, maybe business trips and
Yeah,
stuff like
back.
that. So I don't get that treatment. Once in a while, you see people come to you and say they want to take pictures with you and all that, but I don't really care. Like 3 weeks, you are back in your country. 2 weeks, you are
Yeah,
back
back
in
in
your
your
country.
country.
So I don't experience this, but it looks like people are really suffering a lot from this particular thing. Let's say, as Black American, I visited Ghana in 2023 for 3 weeks and I had a blast. Since then, I've been getting my money up so I can purchase a home. I'm working on having remote income so I can maintain life. Interesting. My P says the way I want to travel outside, it's bad. I just don't know why. I always feel it will be better there than here. Again, there's the, what's the English word? Like things which are on opposite sides, which are
Yeah.
very like contrasting. Well, what's the English word? Somebody should comment it for me. It's very interesting. Ghanaians who are living here, especially the Gen Zs, the millennials, are doing everything. Like I know people
Good.
who are paying like $15,000, $20,000 to get a visa to go to Mexico. Then from Mexico, they hope to cross the border to USA and stuff
You
like
know,
that.
when you even talk about the Gen Zs, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are people who have the digital skills that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them know how to do good content creation. Most of them, at least, I know they know how to do a little bit of coding here and there. They can put something together. They are very fast at catching things. Wherever you put them, they'll be fine. And they love the aesthetic, even though that's not what we're looking at, right? These people just want to live their dream. Like every day, they want every day to feel like a dream, right? So if they are here and then, for example, they're taking pictures and their pictures are not in quotes, the word is they use the word giving, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be here because then again, they can do content creation in America,
Mm-hmm.
right? And make good money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because then look, there are American or there are people in America who are making money, good money off content creation, who are making millions,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's some in Ghana doing the same. There are different places. There was even this guy, the guy who doesn't say anything. I don't know if you know his name. Kabi,
Lee,
right? Who
yeah.
didn't say anything. He from wherever he was to America. Usually, when they end up making good money wherever they are, they go there because they feel like they can make more money,
Mm.
right? And then the goal is everybody wants to make more money, right? I do understand feeling, left out, feeling some kind of way in a certain environment, but some people are just wired different, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you are from, I want to use some people from Ghana. Some people are just wired different. As no matter the circumstances you put them in, they are rising above the
Yeah, they
noise.
will succeed.
Yeah, they don't really care about what you're saying. You say it, they've heard you, they listen to you, but okay, sure. He wants to know how he can achieve that goal. And when he achieves that goal and he gets what he wants, I bet you cannot talk to him anyhow.
Yeah, very,
All
very
right.
true. Very,
But then
very
I
true.
understand that part too. But some people just want to go just so that they can, be financially free and come back.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we
Really,
understand.
really, really interesting topic. Let's continue to read the, live chat. If you are just joining, we are talking about why diasporans are moving and flocking into Ghana. Research shows that since the year of return was launched in 2019, we are getting about 10,000 to 15,000 people moving to Ghana every year. Can you believe it? Like, I can't believe it. 10,000 people
Where are they coming
moving to
from?
relocate from all over the world to come and live in Ghana.
So there's space and land over here for them.
I'm shocked, right? It's a wild, staggering figure. And at the same time, we also have a lot of Ghanaians who are
Leaving.
moving out in their numbers. So I'm going to read some of the YouTube comments and then we continue with the topic for the day. Okay, so Leroy Brown says, I lived in Kumasi and I financed my family there now. Fantastic. Uncle Basil says, the exodus from the USA is silently happened. One shipping company in Ghana moved 42 families to Ghana permanently. Wow.
Wow.
In June 2024. And that's just one company for 1 month. Are you serious? P. Rodusa says, if a 1:1, I'd still move to Ghana. Peace is greater money. The ignorance that the entire black world has is we want this, quote, idiotic, materialistic, white, or hood rich life. Kwame Emmanuel says, the gentleman that just spoke has nailed it on the head, in my opinion. But I'll just add only one point. And then Kwame Ben Eden says, I already have land and it's already building small, small. As a Jamaican, I echo Marcus Garvey. I cannot give up a continent for an island. Wow, the comments are really interesting. Dinos 2000 says, what's the issue with hollow blocks? My contractor told me it's not advisable to use it in the foundation. Definitely, your foundation, you want to use solid blocks, right? Things that have a bit of weight in their structure. Benjamin Opoku says, our government should find means to maintain the purchasing order as the exodus is gradually impacting everything. Land purchases, daily living, and living standards. Price control is a must now. And I think that is another serious point that we need to talk about. You see, when the people like Gabe who work in corporate America and people like, Terry who are in Belgium, Netherlands, and stuff come to Ghana, they have a lot of purchasing power than me and you who work in Ghana.
No.
Right. So the average Ghanaian is earning like maybe 1,500 cedis as a salary. And even those who consider themselves middle class are earning like 5K, right? 5K, if you convert, it's like $300. But Gabe will come with a salary of minimum $10,000 a month. And because he has higher spending power, he will go and buy land, right? Very expensive.
Yeah.
He will rent very expensive.
Yes.
And by virtue of the fact that he's going to build a 6-bedroom house, 12-bedroom house on his plot of land, the whole area now becomes super expensive. And the indigents, the locals who are earning the 5,000 cedis, 6,000 cedis, 2,000 cedis are not able to afford land, right? So you guys are coming in. We don't have an issue. Come. But be a bit, I don't know what the word is. If I say humble, somebody will tell me who am I to tell them how to spend their money. But you should know that your coming in also has an impact on the economy, right? Let me give an example. When Nigerians started moving into Ghana a lot, right? A lot of them had more purchasing power than the Ghanaians who were here. So they move into a community like Pokwase, Dome, and things, Lakeside.
Yeah, Lakeside.
Where Ghanaians would typically want to rent a 2-bedroom house for, let's say, 500 cedis.
Yeah.
A Nigerian who has come into the country
can pay 4,000.
Rent 4,000 cedis.
Yeah.
And if somebody is able to give me 4,000, why would I rent it out to a Ghanaian for 500 cedis?
No.
And so the 4,000 becomes the norm, the standard for rentals within that area, right? And so that is what we have observed. Places which are very expensive in Ghana have become very expensive because the diasporans, the whites, the Black Americans, the Asians prefer to live in those areas.
Yeah.
And by virtue of the fact that they prefer to live in those areas, the restaurants, high-end hotels, apartments, and stuff moved over there, and that whole area became very expensive.
See, and the thing with that one too is, most of these people, like the Nigerians you're talking about, right? They're not working the Ghanaian job, like the bank job and things. And most of these jobs are usually in like the center of Accra, right? Yeah. So you're working in tech, you're working in Accra, you're living all the way at Pram Pram, you're living all the way at Lakeside. It's far, it's tiring, right? So the land in Accra, right, in the small area you live, is expensive. And when you go to when you decide to go and stay far, because of the people who are coming in, who can afford it, it becomes expensive too. So now you staying far is even expensive as well. So your fuel is expensive, where you live is expensive, and then you are trying, right? Then again, when you come to Ghana, you're not going to be working a job like, say, you're in a regular 9 to 5, like a regular Ghanaian. You are barely going to do that, right? You probably are come to start a business, have something where you can comfortably work from home. Once in a while, go and inspect your project, go and do some. But for a regular Ghanaian working a 9 to 5, it's tiring.
Yeah. All right. So let's pick feedback from the live interactive session. I see 2 hands raised. I see Gabe and Idris. So we'll pick Gabe first. Then when Gabe is done, we'll pick Idris. So Gabe, you can unmute your.
Yeah, sure. I wanted to chime in. You were saying something about I guess the buying power of someone from the diaspora coming to Ghana, and how it can almost somehow drive up the cost of living for those living in the area, which is true. It's something that a lot of people from the diaspora have to be very conscious of. I know me, when I come to Ghana, I do as much as possible, try to live very meager. I don't live because I'm coming from US. Sorry? I'm sure. I'm very sure. I I come to Ghana. If I come to Ghana, I'm buying 5 CD Wache. I would take Trotro if I have to. I do all these things because it's something about that. That's what I enjoy. That's what made Ghana Ghana. And I think a lot of people, they'll miss that point. They'll think that I have the buying power, so I would do things that would drive the cost where maybe I'm able to pay $2,000 a month for rents. That means now the average Ghanaian is going to push them away from being able to afford those places. And I think that's what's happening a lot now. So we also have to be conscious of that because our quote unquote buying power or dollar strength can also have an adverse effect to the economy for those who are living there every day, who have to, go through the systems and be able to survive.
I have a question for you. I'm interested. Where did you see 5 CD watching to buy? Like, where did you? Okay, okay, because watching is no longer 5 CDs.
You have this much, and no, buy this, give whatever the amount is. I want to pay the whatever the minimum amount. I don't want to come and say, because I have the money, here, take it. Here's $20, here's $30. I try to keep it that way because that's the problem that we're facing. A lot of things are being driven up where someone can afford, the rents or the restaurants or things like that. So that is driving out, the average, Ghanaian from being able to exist, and that's where we have to also be conscious of, because the beauty of Ghana is the things that you can see every day that you won't be able to see outside in America or UK, wherever it may be. So if those things are going, then I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving the US to come to Ghana for Ghana to start looking like the US again. That's not my purpose of leaving. There's a authenticity that I want, the culture that I want to be able to see every day and be able to enjoy it. And I think that's what a lot of people, you know, that's what we like.
All right, thank you very much, Gabe. So, Idris, you had your hand up. Do you still want to share your thoughts on the topic? If not, if yes, you can unmute and then talk. So,
Yeah,
kind of.
good evening to you all. I don't- yeah, I don't have much to say. I just want to tell you that I don't know whether you muted me on the comment section. I cannot pass a comment there on YouTube. And then the community group on WhatsApp. I don't know if you can share me the link to join.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for your feedback, Idris. So we haven't muted anybody. Maybe I don't know what's happening, but we'll look at it. If you use some words, I don't know what word you may have used, but YouTube has automatic filters, right? So I don't know what might have happened, but we'll check. So to join the community, we are sharing the QR code right now. So all you need to do is to pick your phone, scan the QR code, and you'd be able to join our WhatsApp community. All right. So speaking of the community, let me go and read some of the live feedback from the YouTube live chat. Right. There are lots and lots of comments. I love the comments coming in. So I think okay. Right. So we'll pick from where Kwame says that he's going to echo Marcus Garvey. He can't give up a continent for an island. Then Lex says the reason why I'm leaving America is racism, mass shootings, taxes, poison food, high cost of living, police brutality, corrupt politics, etc. I know Ghana has its fair share of issues, but I'll gladly trade. Interesting. Sweetbart says they should make their money in Ghana and then go on holiday. Kwame says, I am usually in Ghana yearly working on my dream of returning permanently. As soon as my property is totally built, I am there all the time. Interesting. Sweetbart says, corruption is the only thing holding Ghana back. Frank Ankra says, really interesting topic today. Kudos to Gab. Kwame Olatunji says, hi, Africa Building Hub and everyone. Hi, Kwame. Mariokan says, I feel like sometimes we genuinely don't know the average cost for things. So if you don't live there, people selling to you benefit from your lack of knowledge. Mariokan again says, there are some people who can tell you are not from there and they intentionally mark up the prices of things. That's very true. Yesterday I had someone call me, she's building a pram and she was so devastated. I could feel she needed to like air out her grievances, get somebody who understands to talk to. She's not from Ghana. She came from the UK and all that. And the realities are so different that she's a bit overwhelmed and frustrated by everyone wanting to cheat her on the least item and stuff like that. And I could
Very
feel her pain so
frustrating.
much. So I just tried my best to calm her down and looking at how I can also help to at least help her complete her building project. Though we barely have time on our hands nowadays because of the multiple things that we are running. But I understand the frustrations and the comments from Mary. Benjamin Opoku says, it is very true what Gabriel says. My siblings are like that. When they come, we don't even drive our cars anymore. They go about in trotro, etc., and live even less than regular Ghanaians, ironically. D-Lake says, great discussion. Hi, bro. Good to have you here. Dinos 2000 says, I ride trotro and eat at chop bars. I'm not going to a fancy restaurant where they want me to eat banquet with a fork and knife. Interesting. Mary again says, also agreed. People want to compare Ghana to the West, which we are not the same. Benjamin says, our neighbors call them cheap. Like I posited, prices should be controlled to safeguard the economy in the long run. Kwame Emmanuel says, after living in both worlds for a while now, I can easily tell Ghana is the best to stay, work, and
Genuinely.
live life when the system is where the system is in place and effectively working in Ghana. Every department in the government or private system is heavily infested with corruption. This is a major issue. Besides good attitude towards work, respecting the laws of the land are issues we must consciously work on. This will help the entire nation in a short and long run, and Ghana will be the best place to live. Great job, guys. Fantastic. So keep the comments coming. Keep the comments coming. Let me see if anyone on the live chat has their hand up. Okay, so I see two hands up. I see Gabe and I see Benjamin. Gabe, do you want to share something? If you do, you can unmute and then you can share your thoughts.
Okay, thank you very much again. I think you just read my comment. It was just about what Gabriel was saying. You see, the fact is, it's so funny. We people come and then they want to be like us, and then we expect them not to be like us. You see, we are here fighting for price control, and then when these guys come, we try to run them down. So they would definitely, for example, I'm a Ghanaian, I'm in Ghana, and then Gabriel comes to Ghana. I want to rent a house. Let's say the house is 400. Like you're given an example, 400 CDs for a month. Gabriel comes because he's from the same America. They say, oh, the same building I went for is 3,000 CDs a month. So they won't even rent to me. This is my problem. This is my issue. So that is why we instead of us taking advantage of getting more people to come here so that they pump their monies into the economy, we end up, driving people away to Ethiopia and Angola and other places. So this is a very big, it's more than. I wish the government could see this as a whole ministry. It's a whole big foreign income we could generate from this thing. We can even build a place like Trazaco for them, the Diasporans village. We give them a whole city like how we did Buduburum for the Liberian refugees. you know. So we allocate place for them, and then in the next 35 years, I'll be dead and gone. My kids will survive, and then you know generate much from this. So we shouldn't look at this as purely our pocket. Somebody just pointed on the page of our corrupt nature, and I want to agree, but then differ in a way. We are gradually growing. We are corrupt, yes, but we'll move from this point. We cannot still cry for corruption and then we don't make a change. Let us all move forward. Let's invite these people, use their income to build our country. We can make it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to
Thank you. Thank
Benjamin.
you.
And that is what we at Africa Building Hub, we are seeking to do, right? To drive these conversations that are going to bring about the change we want to see in Ghana and Africa as a whole, right? If there's corruption,
But
who
there's
needs to be
yeah,
accountable?
but there's
Who's
corruption
responsible?
everywhere, right? So
Yeah, there's corruption everywhere, but we can't say there's corruption
yeah,
everywhere, so
everywhere.
we
So
need to accept it as
yeah,
it is in Ghana, right? Because it's affecting our daily
very bad.
lives, it's affecting our livelihood. For example, I was bashing the Lands Commission seriously today on Instagram and TikTok because I still call them out that they indirectly are responsible for a lot of the multiple sales of land that we're experiencing in Ghana.
They are
If they
directly
could
involved.
digitalize the process of searching for land acquisition, registering your land title and all that, it would seriously and significantly reduce the incidence of the kind of issues that we are having. A lot of court cases that we have in Ghana are just because of these kind of inefficiency. Again, I'm calling out the municipal assemblies where if someone is going to acquire a permit, it's so expensive and it takes such a long time that people will just cut corners and go and start a building project without the process of acquiring the permit. And we need to look at these things. Now, we also promised you that we are going to give you the prices of cement for people who were asking. So we have done like a comparison chart between February and March. And so today you can get Timaf 32.5 hour grade for 109 Ghana cedis, so it's increased by 9 cedis.
Yeah,
In
so
February,
the
it was
expected
100.
prices are that it's going to increase by 9 cedis in March. So the expected prices are for March 124 cedis, but in February it was 115 cedis for the SIMA 42.5R, and there's the Ohima Type M, which was formerly the SIMA 52.5R, which was 90 cedis, but is expected to be 99 cedis. Now, the Bryce 32.5R, which was 90 cedis, is expected to be 99 cedis. The Safe Cements 32.5R, which was 90 cedis, is expected to be 99 cedis. Supercell 42.5R, which was 108 cedis, is expected to be 117 Ghana cedis. And Supercell 32.5R, which was 95 Ghana cedis, is expected to be 104 Ghana cedis. And the Empire Cements 32.5R, which was 90 cedis, is expected to be 99 cedis. But they say in some areas, the prices are expected to be, say, a minimum of 120 Ghana cedis. Means that for each of these bags, you may get the minimum for 120 Ghana cedis. Then again, this is speculation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, bro, but even today, right? I went live on TikTok and Instagram just to get an idea of how much people are also purchasing their bags of cement. And somebody mentioned that they bought a bag of cement for 140 Ghana cedis.
why?
Yeah, why? Like
One bag
why?
of cement.
One bag of cement for 140 Ghana cedis. And it just lets me know that, Charlie, we are in serious trouble because 3 years ago in 2022, a bag of cement
Exactly.
was 45 Ghana cedis, then it moves to 50. And if between 2022 and 2025, March, we are doing 300 to 400%, then we are in serious trouble.
And
And
there's
that
a
is another thing that I want people who are moving in from the diaspora to Ghana to consider, right? That here prices are very volatile. It's not like the US where things are relatively stable
yeah.
over there, right? Interest rates are 1%, 2% in banks and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Ghana, 30%, right? So
There is an
please,
invoice from Brad Kwame somewhere 2017 where 20 bags of cement was sold at 520 Ghana cedis.
the good old days, bro. The good old days. The good old days. That's why I keep telling people that, Charlie, if you are sitting on the fence waiting for prices of building materials to come down, in Ghana, they don't come down. They go up and they never come down. And so if anyone else in our live chat wants to contribute to the topic of the day, you can just raise your hand and we'll call you. Let me read some of the comments from our YouTube. We'll be wrapping up in 13 minutes. All right, so Kwame Emmanuel says, this will help the entire nation in the short and long run. Ghana will be the best place to live. Great job, guys. Yao Chuk says the Trotro experience is an experience for Ghanaians who live outside. It's a sad reality for most Ghanaians.
You don't know.
IND second says, what's wrong with eating banku with a fork? That's how I eat. I feel attacked. Kwame Emmanuel says, inflation must also be a huge issue. Government needs to work on exactly what I was talking about. Sweet Bar says, I don't think banku will taste the same when eating with fork.
Banku tastes the same way regardless.
Yeah, Entry Pinama, my good friend who found us on TikTok and then has joined the family on YouTube, also says Ghana is lovely. I was there for 2 weeks recently and I enjoyed my stay. I rented a place at Chado and it wasn't bad as
You see,
expected.
let me address this particular comment. You
Okay,
see,
address this
for
comment.
somebody who can rent a place in Chado, right? Chado is not one of the top areas here. I ideally would not expect you to complain about the cost of living in Ghana because then again, I don't know how much the place costs, but usually a place in Chado is not the average, if I would say, an average place to rent.
Yeah.
Right. For somebody like you, if you decide to come and live here, I would say you're living luxury. Right? Because you're not the average Ghanaian like the other people would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, but I mean everyone's realities.
Yeah.
The fact that he's rich doesn't mean he has made a mistake, or
No, no,
it's a
he
simple.
hasn't made a mistake. No.
Exactly.
Yes.
Allow him.
Yeah.
All right, so let's read the rest of the comments. Feedback says, Ben, integration is very important. No appetite, please. Yauchuk says, let's also note that the diasporan coming are not those in their prime. Mostly retirees and near retirees, which says a lot. That's why I was even asking Gabe and the rest of you who are watching that. Would you want to come to Ghana when you are going on retirement, or when you are young like me, young blooded, right? Would you want to come and live in Ghana at 30, 40, in your prime, and bring your kids? Now, speaking of that, I'll read the last comment and we'll move to the trending topic of the day. Lady Ivy says, are there grades in cement? What's your recommendation? We just showed that on the channel. There are different grades to use for different stages of the building project. So we have videos on it on the channel, so you can just check it out. D-Lake says 145 Ghana for cement is highway robbery. I agree. Cement was 45 CDs in 2022. Can you believe it? Benjamin says, I signed a check for 12,100 for 100 bags of cement and TNT. My supplier texted me yesterday that I have to pay 13,100 in all. Prices fluctuate at will. And again, that's why we have the topic today. Why do diasporans want to come and suffer in Ghana, which many consider as hell, whereas they are living in where people consider as heaven? Now let's move to the trending topic of the day, where a young guy was brought to Ghana by his parents to come and study, and he sued his parents, but unfortunately he lost, right? He lost. So let's look at that. All right. So let's read some of the comments. He says, his dad told the court he didn't want his son to be yet another black teenager stabbed to death in the streets of London. Wow.
That's fair.
That's serious. That's very heartbreaking. And then someone says, my mom shipped me to Ghana when I was 13. I used to hate her for it. Now I'm over 20 years later. I thank my mom every day for sending me to Ghana when I was younger. See, I see life differently from people that's never been back at home before. Someone says, many years down the line, the boy will thank his parents. Why? Is living in Ghana hell? It's a good place to raise kids and education system. Someone says, this move never fails. Classic. Someone says, let's go to Africa for Grandma's funeral is the biggest trick ever. Okay, I see. Someone says, I went through the same as a 13-year-old. I wasn't happy at the time, but in retrospect, I'm glad it happened. Someone says, Bra's own school were concerned about his lifestyle in the UK. He wasn't winning the case. Someone says, if it's one thing the UK is going to do is ensure they don't house any other gang member, he was never going to win this one. Someone says, if only he knows the good his parents have done for him, one day he will thank them for it. Again, someone says, I'll do the exact same thing, either that or you bury your child when it's too late. It's sad, right? Someone says, living in hell, outrageous. It must have been a very difficult decision for his parents to make. On the balance of probabilities, that was a good call. Again, someone says he'll thank his parents later when he becomes a parent.
Everybody's saying the
he
same
has
thing.
no idea how much his parents love him. And then someone says, no, the white man, one down, 200K more to go. Okay. Someone says, hopefully he will thank his parents one day. Someone says, I have a junior in high school whose dad sent him from the US to Tamale, Ghana. His dad was worried because he was smoking and keeping wrong company. It was tough for him in Ghana, but that was the best move. Someone says, I know what that feels like. From JHS2 to SHS4, I learned a lot, but I'm still recovering. No funny stuff. Someone says, to me, this is a clear admission of the failure in the British system of raising and supporting of young African and Caribbean children by the UK justice system. Am I wrong? Someone says he should have been shipped by door-to-door service. Taking your parents to court. It looks like he's not returning anytime soon. He has learned a lesson. Right. So these are the comments on that particular video. And again, to you people who are in the diaspora, have you thought about the impact on your kids? Right. I want you to comment as well and let us know. The interesting thing too is a lot of Ghanaians are leaving Ghana to go to Canada and US to study.
Yeah.
And when they go and they see the beauty of those places, they don't want to come back. I have a friend who called me recently that they were living in Europe. Now they moved to USA because US was their dream country for whatever reason, I don't know. I'm not saying US is bad, it's a beautiful country. We would all want to go there. I beg, don't go and spend this later when I want to go and apply for my visa, people come.
It's a
US is a
great
very
place.
beautiful place, right?
Yeah.
But you know, the reason why I'm saying this is many Ghanaians, if we leave Ghana to Europe, it's a testimony, like it's a miracle.
Yeah, it's a
right?
wonderful
But there's some people who have lived in Europe for maybe 10 years, so they see it as normal.
Yeah.
And then they are moving to the US, which is their dream country.
Yeah.
And for them, they went through the school route, right?
Yeah.
So they are studying with the aim of like when they complete school, they can get a job and then they can permanently live in the US. Now they've completed the school and they said they've sent them an email that they have like 3 options. One is they would apply for school again.
Oh.
The second is they need to get a job in 30 days or 3 months, something of the sort. So there's a specific date that has been defined. You need to get a job by, let's say, June 1st, or apply for another school because your visa is 5 years.
Okay.
You've done 1 year course, you still have 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
But you can't work with a student visa.
Yeah,
You'll be out of status. So you need to apply for school again to be in status, or get a job, or leave the country by this date. It was sent in the email. So these people are panicking. They said they are Indians in their class and they are supposed to be doing group work, but even the Indians are not even responding on the WhatsApp because they themselves are also looking for jobs. Everybody is looking for jobs. And I'm wondering, like, why? Why was somebody born in Ghana living in Europe? Hey, if a Ghanaian today living in Obuasi or living in Jamestown gets the opportunity to go to France,
opportunity to go to France, somebody who knows how to lay blocks, he goes to France, he gets a block laying job. He will do it with his whole heart.
I'm telling you,
he will work. Yeah, how many hours is your shift? Like 12 or 2 hours? See, whatever shift it is, he will work your shift, work his shift, your brother's shift. He work everybody's shift because he knows the value he's getting. When he's cold, he will find a way. Like if you are from that place, like the Jamestown was talking about, or the Mamobi, or the trenches. Let me put it that way, right? You're from the trenches. And
the Jamestown guys will come for you. You continue.
So if you're like from the, let me see, from the trenches, right? And you get in quotes that road to the greener pastures, because you hear stories of people who would cross deserts and things to just get greener pastures, right? Because they know that over here there's nothing for them. For some of them, they know there's nothing for them here, right? And they are going to leave to get something small and come back.
All right. So I have a very interesting, issue. This is my own personal life experience, right? I have a brother who lives in the UK. He may be watching this video. And at a point in time, he had an issue similar to this guy whose son sued him. Right, where he felt one of his children was like working with the wrong company and had like
bad influence.
Bad influence, and it's very likely that he would also join a gang. So he moved his entire family to Ghana. So that his kids will study. They went to Morning Star and all that. They stayed in Ghana for 2 years or 1 year or whatever, and went back to the UK. My sister-in-law, that's my brother's wife, called me one day and said, "How are you guys surviving in Ghana? Like, you spend 2 hours in traffic going to work, 2 hours coming back."
They don't understand those things. They don't know.
And when you get to the office, the work culture is so toxic. And this company was even like a multinational company. It's not like a local Ghanaian company that she was working on. And she was complaining so much. I said, "No, you guys are doing so well. I admire you. Who doesn't want to come and live in UK when it's like almost all your siblings are in UK and US?" Right. And this, my brother, whose son was afraid of being wayward, has taken his son back to the UK because they felt they could make it in Ghana, but they realized that Ghana was tough. You need a certain level of toughness to live and survive in Ghana. And I want it to be clear to you, my dear friend who is watching this video, that it's not going to be easy.
Short stay will be easy.
Short stay is nice. Vacations are nice. Coming for trips and going to the mountains, to the waterfalls, living in Adan, living in Akosombo, living in all those things are good. But if you want to come and live here, it's not going to be easy for you. Are you ready? Are you mentally prepared for that? I see some people's hands are up. So let's go back to the live interaction. Um, Gabe, you wanted to say something. If you did, you can unmute and share your thoughts. If not, we'll continue.
Yes, yeah, I did. I think you were making a point of, I guess, people in their prime, making that relocation to live back in Ghana. Myself, that's what I'm trying to do. I want to do. I'm in my prime. I do want to come back to Ghana. I am planning to come back to Ghana, in the next year or two. So one of those people that, I've, like I said, I've been in this country. My father came here in 1972. He came here to study in university, got his degree. He did business. He went back home to Ghana. He also told me one day I'll have that itch to come back home. So for the past 15 some odd years, I've had the itch. So I've been slowly planning my exit out of the system, because it is a system. Once you're in the system, you're, they call it a hamster wheel. Like, it's like a rat race, and you're trying to get out of it. So those who are living in other places of the world, and I think the other gentleman, he always says it, that, oh, the guys want to come and make some quick money and go back. Making quick money and going back and being somewhere is very different, because you are not actually integrated into the system. Being integrated to the system means that those who are coming and can lay bricks or do common mason work, you still have to pay taxes, rent, insurance, and those things will eat all your money. No matter how many triple shifts, double shifts you want to work, the system here will take all your money and you're back to square zero. So I've seen it personally firsthand, where people have left and come to the US thinking that they'll be able to work and make money, but then maybe they're staying with someone and someone tells them, hey, Charlie, in 2 weeks you have to leave and find somewhere to live. And they're scratching their head, where am I going to live? Yeah, I'm in the country and I have some job to do, but I don't have a place to stay. So all these things is what makes it difficult for people to be able to like survive, as they say. So it's almost like reverse. Like, people come to Ghana thinking that it's sweet and they can make it, and then they realize it's very challenging, then they go back. It's almost the same thing as here. People think that, okay, I'm in America, land opportunity, there's money lying on the ground, the ground is full of gold. But it's not like that here. If unless you're fully integrated in the system, you will fully understand that it's very difficult, because it'll be easy for me to be living in Ghana, and I'll come here and I'll stay with a cousin, and she'll find me some job to do. Yes, and I'm saving my money, because what? I'm staying with a friend, and the money that I'm making, I'm able to send it back home to my cousin, my mom, my uncle, my dad, because I'm not paying rent. The moment I have to be on my own and be self-sufficient, there lies the problem, because now I have to pay for my own place to live, for my own transport to work, all these things, and that's where you lose all your money. So I see it, I hear it all the time, that people come here and they complain that, yes, I'm here, but it's not as easy as it is to live here and be here. So I just wanted to make that point, that it is a challenge, but the challenge of living in your homeland is far better than living in someone else's land. And I think that people have to remember that this country is already developed. So why would I want to spend more time developing a country that doesn't belong to me, that the people here don't see me as an equal? I rather struggle and survive in my own homeland and develop that place. So as you said, one day my children will know that, okay, this is where I come from. Because also, you have to remember, culturally, the longer you stay here, the more that the culture dilutes. So your children will say that, oh, my father's from Ghana. They don't even recognize that they're from Ghana. And then my children's children will say, okay, I think my great grandfather was from Ghana. So you see, so the culture will diminish. So to the point that maybe 4 generations deep, they'll just say, okay, that I'm American, but I think I heard a long time ago that my great grandfather came from Ghana. So in order to keep the culture, the bloodline, those things going, we who are in the diaspora need to come back to our homeland and be here, because as you can see, that the world is changing. I mean, people are starting to realize that, what, it wasn't as great as it was like some time ago. I think maybe in the 70s, when my dad came here, it was different. Now, 50 something odd years later, the country's a different place. It's not the same place anymore. And I think now, with the year of return, 400 years ago, people were removed from Africa and taken to the Western world to live. And now they realize, okay, this life is not it. So I need to come back and be where I am, welcome. I think that's a trending topic you hear when people say they land in Ghana, they felt a sense of peace. I always talks about the peace. You can't put a price tag on peace. and that's what people don't understand. There's no price that you could put on peace. For me, I work in corporate. I think I said I work in corporate America. Yes, I make good money. I'm a cybersecurity engineer, but even with all of that, I still want to leave and come and live in Ghana. Even if I have to live on a farm or live in a village, I'd rather do that than stay here any longer.
Really fantastic submissions from Gabe. Let me just read a few of the comments on our YouTube live. Today's live is going way longer than we anticipated, but it's because the topic is very interesting. We are getting people saying we should do the part 2 of this and all that. So Kwame says, if your investments such as real estate and a running business are heavily embedded in overseas, it will be safe enough to say that the reverse is true. IND2ND says, I got shipped to Ghana when I was 12 and my pops didn't need a court order. Due to my experience, it took me over 20 years to go back. Wow. The good, the bad, the ugly. Yauchuk says, the parents shipping their kids back home are just lazy and shirking responsibilities. It's either you are all coming home or stay put and train the kids there. Benjamin Opoku says, brilliant submission from Gabe on the call. It's not as flashy and lucrative as it looks. Sweetbar says, absolutely 100. Kwame Emmanuel says, I've decided to move back home, but gradually need to integrate into the Ghanaian system well enough to finally move, probably within the next 3 to 4 years after selling my business, and for sure must have something, okay, a business ready to thrive. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. So again, if you want to join the community, kindly scan the QR code. And then again, if you want to advertise your business, whether you have a property for sale or you want to purchase solar cameras from us, this solar camera is selling for 3,300 Ghana cedis. It's an intelligent solar camera. Gabe is one of the people from the community who has purchased this solar camera. Gabe, do you want to share your experience using the solar camera, and would you recommend it? Gabe, please hold on. Gabe, please hold on. Okay, we can.
Yeah, I was saying that I highly recommend the cameras. Being away from my, construction project is very helpful. I use it every day. It's part of my routine. I wake up in the morning and I see what's going on. I watch the workers. Even today, because of the camera, I was able to point out the mistake that was being made on site. So I immediately called my foreman and said, "Hey, listen, you're making a mistake right here." And because of the camera, it saved me a lot of time and double work. So I really want to say thank you for for the camera. So it really came in handy of all days today.
Oh, I've been speaking
Suddenly.
silently all this while. Apologies, eh? So we were talking about the solar camera and the value that it brings, and the fact that if you want to get one, all you need to do is to send us an email. Our email address is on the screen.
ABH
ABH.
at abh@abhcollabs.com.
Yeah,
And also the security camera is a two-way audio where you can talk through and listen so you can hear what is happening on site.
fantastic,
Right.
fantastic. So if you want one,
So
just
yeah,
send
I
us
have one
an
thing for
email.
Gabe,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Dear Gabe, I know you can hear me. You're working a beautiful job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unlike the Ghanaian that I'm speaking about, right? So I clearly understand you, but that guy will not understand you because he's leaving for enclosed greener pastures. And if you tell him that, no, stay here, there's more for you here, after him staying here for 28, 30 years, and still nothing good has happened, I don't think he will miss an opportunity to live here and go work and make money. But I understand you do, and I also agree with you, but it's the sad reality, right? Yeah.
Okay. All right. There are two people on the interactive live chat who haven't spoken yet. Kwame, would you want to share your thoughts before we close? Or Richmond, if so, you can unmute and then share your thoughts. We'd love to
Sure,
hear from you.
sure. I'm happy to share my thoughts. Can you hear me? You can hear me. Okay. So I run a network called Migration to Ghana, and this is people that live abroad that want to have some sort of holding or business or probably moving to Ghana. And you'll be surprised that majority of people moving to Ghana are in their prime, and majority actually work remotely. So you have someone like Gabe, who is a cybersecurity engineer, who can then work remotely and then move to Ghana and then be able to do that. Myself, I'm based in Ghana and the UK. So I spend time in Ghana. I work remotely in Ghana as well when I'm in Ghana. But I think I always tell people that, and a lot of people say that living abroad is actually can be overrated, if I'm honest with you. Because I was speaking to a couple of people who moved back to the UK about 2 years ago, and they want to go back because they've come here, sold all their properties in Ghana, and come back here, thinking that they can make about £3,000 a month, and then they can save £2,000 to go and build a better house, realizing that after the end of the month, after paying taxes, there's nothing for them to actually remit back to Ghana to be able to now build the house that they want and then invest the way that they want to do. So we always tell people before you move to Ghana, go and visit. And so we have three types of people that tend to move to Ghana. We have the people who came here, migrated here, they've lived here for some time and want to have some kind of footing in Ghana. And everyone that moves abroad tends to want to go back to Ghana. But the way the system is actually orchestrated here, the system is actually made for you to actually stay, right? Yeah, we always have to understand that the West wants us to come help build their country. So we are literally here helping them build their country. If we take the UK as an example, if I take the national health system, anyone that's on a call that's in the UK will tell you that over 60% of people working within the national health system are foreigners, predominantly from Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, but majority of people working within the national health system are foreigners. If you look at other mundane people, quote unquote, jobs that people will call mundane, as care workers, as an example, right? About last year, the UK needed 27,000 care workers. Now, if you look at the care work system in the UK, less than 10% are actually indigens, which means that over 90% of care workers in the UK are all foreigners. So that tells you that they need us to actually build their country. So when we come here, it's all well and good. When you come here initially, it's all nice. The system works, you get paid on time, you have transport system. If you don't drive, you can get on a train, you can get bus, whatever, that works. But if you're not careful, that system will keep you here where you're just literally working to pay bills. And that's how the system actually is orchestrated here. And so most of us that are here always want to find a way to actually come back to Ghana. And the first step of actually coming back to Ghana is actually making sure that you have a property, right? And majority of people here too, the system here is such that if you don't have good credit, you will not be able to buy a house, which means that you'll be renting for the rest of your life, Okay. Bearing in mind, you live in somebody's country and you are paying rent, you know that you could potentially buy it, but because maybe either one, you don't have the right papers to actually be able to buy the property, which means that you are stuck. So, what else do you do? Do you now decide, wait, hang on a minute, I know I can buy land in Ghana and build slowly. So maybe if I give myself 5 years, I might be able to build a house that will potentially be worth the same as the house that I would have to save up a mortgage and then be paying mortgage for 25 years. So why don't I build in Ghana? It seems much better because I built interest finance free. So even if I don't have anything, even if I don't want to move to Ghana, at least I have a property in Ghana. And there's a lot of people that don't necessarily want to move to Ghana, but they want to have some property in their home that at any given time, if they want to move to Ghana or want to come and visit Ghana, they can come to Ghana. So it's very diverse. And look, I mean, 2 years ago we had an influx of people who came on certificates of sponsorship, COS, where some companies were selling it for 10,000, 15,000 pounds. And people were selling houses to move down. And I can guarantee you, because of what we do, or the network that I run, we hear so many sub stories. Today, as an example, one gentleman called me and said that if he knew this is how UK was, he would have stayed in Ghana on his salary instead of coming here. Number one, he's lonely, he's depressed, and then he's in debt. He's in debt, right? So that's why I keep saying it's not all rosy, And I like what Gabe said, and he took the words out of my mouth. There's you cannot put a price on peace. You cannot put a price on peace of mind and your freedom. Okay, you have the likes of the Americans who have traced their roots to Ghana, and we hear all these George Floyd and all those police brutality that happens in the U.S. And majority of them just want to come to a continent that they can see themselves. They can see, oh, this is my brother. I see this person on the road. There's nothing at all. So we have all those kind of, and then you have the other group of people, which are the second generation diasporans who were born here, and because they are more or less caught in a crossroad. They don't know where they are from, whether they have to come to Ghana, whether they stay in the UK, and so those ones are the ones that come majorly for the dirty December. They come party, they go to front back, they go to all those places and enjoy themselves, and then come back and wait till another December. And then you have those ones that came from Ghana that always want to make sure that they have some kind of footing. All right. So that's my thoughts on that. In terms of the boy, the 14-year-old boy that came, I mean, having kids in the UK as an example, it's very, very scary. Scary. I kid you not. I'm in the process of bringing my daughter to Ghana. The problem with previous, maybe the generation before, or some parents, what the mistake some parents have made is that whilst they were bringing children up, they used coming to Africa or Ghana in this instance as some sort of punishment or a threat. So if a child does something, you find out that, oh, if you keep misbehaving, I'll take you to Ghana. If you keep misbehaving, I'll take you to Ghana. So therefore, that gets into the child's mind that going to Ghana is some sort of punishment, right? But I bring my children every year, right? My children, we live in the UK, they don't eat, what do you call it, fish and chips. They eat Ghanaian food. They have Ghanaian names. They come to Ghana. When they go to school, they were born here. But when they go to school and they are asked, where are you from? They say they are from Ghana because their parents are from Ghana. So my daughter, I've been talking to her, you're going to Ghana to experience Ghana, to make friends in Ghana, right? Ask what you do later on, but at least that creates a platform for her to be able to have friends in Ghana that she can relate to. She can talk to them. When we come to Ghana, she can actually have friends, bases that she can say, okay, hey, I'm going to Ghana to make friends, because ultimately that's where we're from. Home is home. right? And so if we don't intentionally try as much as possible to integrate our children that are born abroad into Ghana, they will get lost. And they get lost in the system. One day, people, just like Gabe was saying, "Oh, I think my great grandfather was from Ghana or whatnot." So there's a place for bringing children in Ghana to Ghana to get them acclimatized, make friends, get it involved. And look, the school system. If you get a good school to take your child in Ghana to Ghana, right? They are pushed much better than abroad. I kid you not. Anyway, that's it. Let me not talk too much.
Thank you so much, Kwame. I can tell Kwame has a world of experience, and that's amazing. I see, Madam Afra has joined, so I'm sure you want to also share something or contribute to the topic. So if that is the case, you can unmute and share your thoughts.
Hi guys, my name is Sia. um, I moved from Ghana in 2021 to England, and I just would like to say that you don't know what you have unless you don't have it in your hands anymore. Like my brother rightly said, traveling and living abroad is sometimes just overrated, honestly. Um, it's good if you've got children and all that, and then well, it also sometimes depends on your mindset and what you actually want to achieve. If you just want to travel for the sake of traveling and just to bluff or to just show off that, oh, I've also traveled and all that, it honestly doesn't make sense. For me, what I've learned in my short stay here is that it just opens your eye to a lot of opportunities that we had back home that we didn't even know. For me, if I'm coming back, I don't even want to live in Accra anymore. I just want to live somewhere in the outskirts, get a very big land, start my own like farming and stuff. Like I just want to be self-sufficient. These are some of the things. And where I live, there is that sense of community that if I have something, I don't mind giving it to the other person if I don't need it anymore. But then back in Ghana, when I was there, I remember that even when it was time for me to travel, I had lots of suitcases that I had not opened for like years with stuff that I don't use. But then we have this thing like, oh, what if I give it out and they use it for something? Like you're just blessing somebody. No one is going to use it against you for like any bad purpose. Like if you have a positive mind. What I have when I first moved here, I moved here as a nurse. But then where I was living, like it was just a new place and all sort of things were going on. And my like I was just actually going through a lot at the time. But I had a lot of people come to me to help that I didn't know. I had my third child here. All the stuff that I used for him were things that were donated. And some of these things were actually very brand new, they were not even used. So I think we can just learn some of these things and then just bring it back home. I'm on a community moms page that people just give out stuff. If my child has grown out of something, I just put it there and the next person can use it. And it just goes on. Look how many like people, underprivileged people we have in our communities in Ghana that we could actually help. You can go to your wardrobe now and you can take out about 5 things you've not used in the last year. You can just give them out to someone else who needs it, just in the community, maybe your next door neighbor. So these are just little things that I have picked up. Then, and when I'm coming back home, I'm coming with them to help my community, my society. Here, people just don't wait for the government to do stuff. Everyone is just up and about doing their stuff, even though people depend on benefits and all that. But everyone is working, and people are not just thinking, "Oh, I need a uni degree, or I need a degree, I need this." Before, there are 16-year-olds who are living their best lives. They just learn a trade. Some actually leave school and then they just start working, like maybe high school, and that's it. But they are doing well, they are making money, they are taking care of their families and all that. So I think back home, the things that we can actually learn is to also be self-sufficient, not like just wait for somebody to come and do something massive, but then we can all start doing things in our communities that will help everybody as a whole. Traveling is good. I saw a comment that someone said, she dreams about it every day. Like she really thinks that, yeah, well, that might be good for you, but don't sell your three-bedroom house and travel. It doesn't make sense to me, honestly. Well, to somebody, perfect, but to me, you have your house, you have a job. Honestly, I am trying to get money to come and build in Ghana and live for good. So why are you selling your house to come here? The weather is traumatizing. I was a nurse in Ghana for 10 years. I talked to people about depression and all that. I never experienced that until I moved here. I had to actually take antidepressants myself because I was that depressed. So there are a lot of things we can talk about. Maybe organize a part two of this and then we can get our points. I actually didn't join the meeting early. I was talking to my brother in Scotland and we're sort of discussing the same thing. So it's a good thing you're doing and I follow your building stuff as well. I'll get in touch for some business deals as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ia, for sharing your thoughts. I'm going to read the last couple of comments on our YouTube live. We plan to just do an hour, but we are done. We've done like 1 hour, 36 minutes. This is the longest live ever. All right. So IND20 says, oh, the irony. I want to move back to Ghana! Exclamation. Yeah says, home sweet home. Every day is summer. I can't wait to be back. Dino says selling all your property just to immigrate to the West is something. Okay, so people are agreeing with Kwame around the NHS comment. Entry Pinaman says Ghana is nice, just our leaders have to sit up and step up their game. Daniels 2000 says, even just sneezing can cost you money in the West. Uncle Basil says, Gabriel's like me. We think alike, and we are both IT professionals. Well, I used to be. I moved to Ghana last year. No way am I going back. Interesting. Entry again says, foreigners are cashing out big time in Ghana, but the Ghana natives want to leave the country. It's a very interesting thing, yeah? Gabriel says, my Mr. Kwame is speaking facts, keeps the culture alive through the kids. Interesting. Lady Ivy says, that's wonderful, yeah. Living on the land. Okay. Entry says, Abrochue dear, yes, sir, will be experience, but sweet. From Accra to Kumasi and the countryside, very organic.
No, say it well. From Accra to KSI.
Yeah.
It's the reason she did it like that. Yeah.
Uncle Basil says, we are literally helping them build their country. Kwame Opoku well said. Dino says, depressing weather. Abdul says, Ghanaians are moving to the West for economic reasons, while the Americans are looking for safety. And so if you watch to this point of the video, whether you're watching the live or the replay, first of all, do this first. Like this video. Share wherever, on your status, on your groups, etc. It's a very interesting conversation. And leave a comment. This is how we are going to know that you watched till the end. Children are confused, whether they are foreigners or they are Ghanaians. Once you comment this, I know you watched all the way to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. We wish you a very blessed new month, and we pray whatever you touch to do will be blessed. We love you. We appreciate you for staying so long. Emmanuel says, Emmanuel, I'm building in Ghana. I should be coming to Ghana soon. Fantastic. And to our people on the live interactive session, I want to acknowledge you guys once again. So on the live interactive session, we had Gabe Nunu, we have Hussein Idris, we have Benjamin Opoku, we have Kwame Opoku-Addo, we have Madame Afra Ya, and we have the Africa Building Hub team. Richard, Atona, Mapi, Priscilla, everybody who is watching, Alan, we want to say a very big thank you. We appreciate you. Stay blessed and have a very fruitful week. Okay, Atona, we want to say something?
This is Africa Building Hub. Thanks, Bibri.
Thanks, Bibri. Cheers.